What's going on, everyone? Happy Monday, and hopefully all of you guys that did a Spartan race this weekend, whether it was a sprint, the super, the ultra, the beast, or all fucking four of them, hopefully you're recovering. Fucking sore, to say the least. So I want to show you. So of course, the only reason we do this ultras is to get a buckle. Just kidding. That's one of the reasons. It's cool. So all total, I should have 5 of this, plus glow-in-the-dark medal that they gave us at I think it was one of the top races, 2015. But anyways, this one I think is pretty cool. So it's different from this one. Kind of like the old school ones. So when I do these live videos, a lot of times, if people comment, sometimes I get distracted and I forget what the hell I was going to talk about it. But one of the main things that I want to say before I even forget is what I posted on the last picture I put up on my social media, and it was a picture of as many people that I took pictures with. And that is that at the end of the day, besides the actual race and when you bump into people on the course, for me the most fun is like when I'm not racing and I'm around the going around the venue and I'm cheering people on and I'm seeing all these different people that I met over the years, and also seeing all the new people that are doing obstacle racing or any other event that I'm part of. So that's, for me, that's the most fun. Chatting with people outside of the race for sure is one of my favorite things. So as the caption on the video says, for those that have never done it, sometimes I assume that everyone that I know has done an obstacle race, but obviously that's not a fact. So what I was gonna say, it is a lot different. So I'll share a little bit, basically from mile 1 to mile 32 of what the ultra was, and that pretty much applies for all the other races. As far as obstacle racing, you're not just dealing with the distance of the challenge of the distance of running, whatever the course might be, whether it's a 5K or the half marathon or the ultra beast. It's not just the running, but you're also dealing with, most of these terrains. You're not on. So for example, when you go to any of the peaks that we have, like Cucamonga Peak, San Gorgonio, or even the smaller ones, there's switchbacks, right? So you don't go straight up a mountain. So the difference when you do an obstacle race, and most of the courses, especially with Spartan, if they're around mountains, so they're not even gonna put you on switchbacks. They're basically gonna put you straight up and straight down, which makes it very difficult for most people. Not just on the climbs. On this particular course at Lebec, you had people literally bear crawling up some of these hills. So that tells you how steep they are. And on the downhill, I mean, I overheard some people say this is just stupid and dangerous, but maybe some people are not sure what they're signing up for. And that's fine too. You don't have to know exactly everything about the event that you're gonna do. You just have to, decide that that's something you want to try. And along the way, as you're training, you'll figure things, and you might want to ask some people some questions or videos like this that will give you a little bit of an insight of what it is. So to go back to this venue, as soon as you start, yes, we start going up on the first climb, and it was some runnable trails, and then we start hitting the first steep climbs along the route. And at this point, it's just the ultra, whoever started around, I think it was 6:15, 6:30, that's the initial waves for the ultra beast. And this ultra beast ended up being anything from 31 miles to 32, depending if you did any of the penalty loops. And the penalty loops, now they have them, instead of just doing 30 burpees if you fell an obstacle, some obstacles, if you fell them, they have an option of an extra little loop that you go up and down. So that kind of adds to your mileage. But so anyway, so that started off like that. In the morning, it was a little cold, but when you're running and it's in the 50s, 60s, that's actually pretty good weather. So the weather itself, I mean, it's good to bring like a gaiter, something to, cover your face, to keep you warm, your ears, a beanie. And if you're going to bring a beanie, eventually, there's going to be a dunk wall. So it's good to bring like a Ziploc bag, and whether you have it on your vest, or those little, packs that you run with, or some people carry like a straight out little backpack, like a hiking one. And as you do these things more, that it also changes the things that you carry with you. Like in the beginning, I think my first ultra, I did carry one of those, hiking packs, the smaller ones with the hydration bladder. But moving forward, 6-7 years later, now when I'm running even the ultra, I'll just carry the my Solomon running vest, which is pretty simple, small, and all I carry with me is a 16 ounce flask, collapsible flask, like those little floppy ones, and all I have in there is just pure liquid calories, which I use CarboPro, and then after that, basically I didn't put in any calories into about hour 3 into the race, and at that point, you know, because for the last 3 years I've been fasting, so I never really eat anything before 11, 12 in the morning. So one of the things that I was that I would suggest is don't completely change the things that you eat, the things that you drink, just for this particular event, because your stomach might not be able to handle that kind of stuff. And for me, I can't eat solid food when I'm out there, even if it's a lot of a lot of work, a lot of energy being expended. But for me, CarboPro has always been good because you could pack as many calories. Each packet has like 250 or 200 calories, and it's just carbs. And you could pretty much mix it up on the water that you're gonna use, and leave it at transition. And if you need a refill, you refill. Along the course, you're also gonna have plenty of opportunities to drink their water and whatever they have right there. But yeah, going back to the actual course, yeah, there was a lot of climbing in this particular ultra, and what I did like about it is that they had a little the format was a little different. The first lap ended up being 17 plus miles, so obviously the second loop was a little shorter. It was the actual beast course. So in the first loop we gained over 5,000 feet of gain. That's pretty much equivalent to climbing Mount San Gorgonio, which is the highest peak we have in Southern Cal. So as far as the terrain goes, all total we climb over 8,000 feet of elevation gain, which is pretty decent. And when you add up 60 obstacles to it, and again, for those that have never done an obstacle race, I mean, anything from crawling under barbed wire, which can be a little challenging. It's been a very long time since I felt a cramp, but one of the other things that I do take throughout the race is for something long like that, I do take salt tablets, 2 of those every hour. So once I do start taking in calories and supplements, I do stay pretty steady. Every hour I'm putting in a goo, liquid carbs, and salt tablets, and I do it regardless how I feel, because I know that that's gonna keep me going for as long as I need to go. So again, as far as the obstacles, then you get to some stuff that is like, you know, climbing the rope. You get through other obstacles where you're, you know, jumping over I think 7 feet walls. So all of those things is much different than if you're just doing a trail race, because you're taxing your body, your upper body, lower body, your abdominal muscles, everything. So it obviously takes a lot. If you're just running, for example, 32 miles, it's still a huge challenge. But when you add in the obstacles and the amount of energy you're spending doing other things, carrying a freaking bucket full of sand to carrying a sand up a loop on a hill, you know, and again, it's 60 obstacles. So you're doing a lot of different things. The throwing the spear, I don't think in over 100 races I missed more than twice. But if you miss it, this time they had a little loop, but most of the times they have burpees. So now if you start missing a lot of obstacles, now you're dealing with doing 30 burpees every time you miss an obstacle, which in this race I did miss, forget the name of it, but it's not the bender, but it's the one that has the rotating monkey bars. And when I came up on it, I just couldn't grip it. It was slippery, so I fell. But the crappy part about that is that when I was doing my burpees, they put me down where there was a fucking anthill. So I started feeling, and I thought it was the hay, but nah, it was like, I think I still have a marking somewhere in there. I don't know if you could see it. I think it's right here. But it was a fucking those orange ants that fucking got me. But yeah, so along the course, honest for me, the first loop, how long did that take me? Shit, I think that one took like around 5 hours or so. I didn't spend too much time on the transition, but for some reason, like on miles 17, 18, yeah, I was feeling a little fatigued. It was kind of sucking. I even thought about like, man, it might be good to just call it a day and just go hang out. But obviously that was not going to happen. But feel pretty good about it, because on the second lap, I actually was running more. I was, you know, talking to different people, and I probably could have finished maybe 30 minutes faster if I hadn't talked to so damn much. but it is cool to be sharing the course with other people that are dealing with the same challenges. But you know, as far as like preparing for these things, the difference now and before is that I could pretty much go do any distance as far as obstacle races, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do most of the obstacles successfully. But the problem is that since I'm not doing the obstacles at all at home, like I'm not practicing, I'm just running. So I lost some muscle. I'm getting skinnier from all the running, and strength. Obviously, you lose a little bit of the strength, but you know, I still have the technique and the skills to do the obstacles. It's just that since I don't practice them, it just takes a lot more fucking work to get through them. And but not bad. About 57, 58 obstacles out of 60 that I completed. Then again, some of the obstacles are not much of an obstacle. It's like some little ass walls, some little tunnel that you crawl under. But again, if you are cramping, now you have to crawl under a freaking little tunnel. Then yeah, that's not ideal when that's happening. But you know, as far as like, you know, how it was for me, I think it was a pretty awesome race overall. I mean, anytime you finish a race and you don't have injuries, then it's good. But at 42, I for sure have to do a little better job of supplementing things that I'm able to recover a little faster, because yesterday I felt alright walking around, running around the venue, recording, talking to people. But fuck, today I'm pretty beat up. But overall, like, I do, you know, get a lot of people who, you know, message me, who comment, and they say like, man, I want to do one of those. It looks fun, or I want to do this. But most people, it's just a thought. It's just something to say. But if you really want to do something, you know, there's plenty of YouTube videos out there of the actual. I mean, I recorded a lot of my races where, you know, I bring my GoPro and I record a lot of the obstacles, but it does get a little distracting. But you could literally see kind of what that stuff looks like. But then again, if I was to go back to my first Spartan race, I didn't know much about it. I was invited to do one. I looked up a video on YouTube, and I looked at, oh shit, it's like climbing some ropes, get into some mud. It looked like fun. I signed up, and then once you do it, then you get a better idea for yourself, and then now you know how to prepare for the next ones, and start increasing the distance. I'm on the video, Cole. I'm on the phone. Thank you. So yeah, so well, I guess what I'm trying to say is you don't have to know every single detail. Like, so I know some people go on some of those groups and they're asking for like the maps, and they're asking like, you know, I mean, shit. Once you start, you'll know where to go. You don't need a map. But some people are curious, or maybe for strategy points, I don't know. They want to see what's going to be there, what's going to be next. But in reality, I'm just speaking for those who just want to get into it. Just sign up, commit to it, put in some work. And if you're already a runner, and especially if you're a good runner, yeah, you're just going to have to work a little bit on your strength and your upper body. But essentially, it is a race. You're running a lot. There's most of the stuff you're doing is running or hiking, for the fact, I mean, Lebec, yeah, you saw a lot of people just hiking, including myself. I mean, some of those steep hills, you can't do much but to freaking power hike those. But yeah, I'm pretty excited that, you know, at 42, I stopped counting, and I know before they didn't really track like how many races you really done, but I know it's been a while that I've been over 100 races, and that's not including regular trail races, the triathlon stuff, the endurance events, but it never really gets easier. It just all depends on your body, your injuries, your preparation, and how you are at the particular race. So you can never really compare even venues that this was harder, this was easier. But it's always the same for me. It's always the same experience. I always have fun. You're never gonna see me on the course. Maybe in the beginning, way back in the days, into and Mark Montano knows about this. Into one race when I was having a little bitch mood, and then he pretty much set me straight about other people in the venue that know you, looking up to you, even on the things that we do, and you want to have a good attitude, regardless if you finish well or even if you got injured. That's why when it comes to like our team, Machete Madness, to me, I really don't give a fuck like rankings or where you finish. Of course, if your goal is to finish on top of your age group, which I think I actually got 4. I don't know, maybe it was 4 out of 4. But anyways, I think I did well. But point is, I really don't care. Like, if it's a personal goal, yeah, that's awesome for you. Go and fucking win top age group or elite, whatever. But that's not what people are gonna remember. People are gonna remember your interactions with them at the race, the way you talk to them, the way you made them feel. If you bump each other in the course, how you encourage them. I bump into a lot of people that are staying with me and they're like, oh, I'm just trying to keep up with you. But in reality, shit, I'm trying to keep up with them too. But I know that it motivates them to, let's say, finish ahead of me, because they've seen me doing this for a long time, so it's extra motivation for them, and for me it's cool. I enjoy it. But that's what the people are gonna remember. That if you take the moment just to say what's up, or again encourage each other, or even when I'm not racing, just being out there and just having fun, that's what they're gonna remember. Believe me, they're not gonna remember, oh yeah, I remember seeing this guy, he was on the podium holding his trophy. They're not gonna remember that shit. They're gonna remember how you handle your business on the course and outside the course. So I think that's all I have to say. And yeah, I need to fucking go get a massage or something. But pretty excited about this upcoming year too. We're probably gonna finish up the year with probably Castaic. I'm sure they have a race, and then right around the corner, believe we end up in Catalina, maybe doing the 50K, and then rolling into another Tough Mudder and another Spartan race at the end of January, I think. And ultimately April, that's my main goal, is the 100 miles. 100-mile trail race, Born to Run. And then, I don't know, maybe at the end of the year I could sneak in the actual full Ironman. We'll see. But it's pretty awesome. It keeps you in spirit and health, keeps you younger, strong when you're doing all these different things. And if you're like me that have kids, especially I have 2 teenager boys, 2 kids that young men now, I like to just show them that fuck, anyone can do anything if you really put the time and the work into it, and just have the determination and that no quit, never give up attitude, and anyone can do this shit. So with that said, happy Monday. Anybody that was at the race that I got to see, thank you for fucking saying what's up, and share your experience in the comments, what the race was for you and what it meant for you. All right, take care, fellas and ladies.